Clay Carlino, and I do stuff. And today what I'm doing is replacing some of the emergency brake cable parts on my 2003 Dodge Dakota. We're looking at the underside of my 2003 Dodge Dakota on the driver's side. You can see the emergency brake cable comes out right here, just underneath the driver's door. Then it goes to this adjuster, which is sometimes called a tensioner. And then it goes to another length of cable, which goes up over this body mount. And it used to go through this little clip, but I pulled it out. And then it continues to another length of cable behind. You can see that this tensioner has seen better days, and it may be fine, but I want to replace it. These parts really aren't that difficult to get apart. Now, they are probably rusted and will need some penetrating oil and some elbow grease, but once you get them to start moving freely, you can usually slide it forward and then just pull it apart. And then on this side, you'll see that we've got this hole with a slot. When you rotate that around, you can see that there's another nub here on the end of the cable. So you put slack on the cable, pull the piece up, and then pull it out. If you're searching for this part online or at your local auto parts store, it may be called an emergency brake cable adjuster, an emergency brake cable tensioner, or a parking brake cable adjuster, or a parking brake cable tensioner. And my experience has been that you cannot find these for a 2003 Dodge Dakota. I could have gone to the dealer, but I don't even want to know what they would charge for this at the dealer. So instead, I got this. This is the emergency brake tensioner from a Ram 1500. Now if you look, it is almost identical to the one for the Dodge Dakota. The only significant difference that I can find is in the end. The Dodge Dakota model has this slotted hole so that the cable, which I'll show you here, can just fit through and attach like that. The Ram 1500 one just has a hole, so that does not work the same way. However, I found a way around it. I got these emergency brake cable connector kits. Each kit comes with 3 different kinds of connectors. This is one of those little connectors. I take the Ram 1500 cable tensioner, put the cable through the hole, then take the connector, put the end through here, hook it up just like that, and now that's not going anywhere. This is the other end of the cable that was going into that tensioner, and I want to replace it. This has a connector just like this. The way that I got this off was to do this. With a pair of vice grips, I just locked onto the cable itself, and then I used this pair of channel grips, and I just kept a little bit of a gap like that, and then I used them sort of like a hammer to tap this. There we go. And now that comes free. This is the little clip that I mentioned earlier. I had to kind of get at this with a straight screwdriver to spread the ends apart enough to get the cable out from inside. This is a replacement intermediate emergency brake cable section that I ordered online, and it comes with the cable, which is very nice condition, and one of these little connectors, because the old connectors are pretty gnarly, so I want to replace them. So I'll get the cable out of this side of the connector, just like I did the other one. just that easy. I'll take my new cable, get my new connector, slip that in, and then I'm just going to use this screwdriver. That gets it started at least. See? That worked. Now to attach it to the existing cable. Just slip that in there. And then we'll get it started with the screwdriver. Perfect. And now we attach the new tensioner. First I'm going to take the free end of that cable, go over my body mount, and just snap this down into that clip, just like that. And it just pushes right down in. And then I'm going to slip this end of the cable right in here, just like that. And then do just like what I showed you before, where I put that cable through here, put the end through there, and there, they're connected. Now it's just a matter of adjusting the tension. This is turning into a pain in the butt. I have to do it. You don't have to watch it. I'm going to cut, and then it'll be done right now. Voila! With movie magic, it's adjusted. That was a little bit painful. I'm going to test it and make sure that the emergency brake is engaging properly, and then tighten and loosen as necessary. But one thing more that I'm going to do before I go is, even though I have no reason to believe that this will ever come free, I'm just going to add another layer of protection, since this is not the standard way of replacing this part. And that is to use the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. And there we go. Alright, here's the test. Uh-huh. Yeah, it sounded like it did something. Alright, emergency brake is fixed. So there you go. Seeing that you do not need to be afraid to try and replace your own emergency brake cable parts. This is Carlino telling you to be brave.